my gosh. Hang on, guys. It's doing it again. Still don't understand why it does that. Sometimes it monitors and sometimes it doesn't, and it's just like, no, I don't want to hear my own sounds. Okay, what happened to my this, I need this. Right. Stream. Oh, I think I realized what it was. I think I realized what it was. No, not that. Oh, that's what it is. Aha! I figured it out. Phew. Well, that's a relief. Okay, everything's fine. Oh my gosh. Like, I have my channel open sometimes in the background because I'm just looking through Twitch, or I was looking at whatever, and it starts playing and I'm like, where is my sound coming from? And it's not Streamlabs, so that's good. My. Hello. I have to finish this guy. This needs to be finished. On this side, the other side. Probably the other side. Other side. Other side. There it is. Yeah, I was just gonna do like a slip stitch in here. And look what I got! Look what I got in the mail! I got this one. Wait, no, not this one. Was it this one? Was it this one? Which one was it that I got? Oh, I got 12. That's right. I got 12. I am confused. That's right. Okay, so I got this one in the mail, and this one from a delightful member of my Discord sent me this. I bought this on Lace Market. Somebody was selling this for a pretty reasonable price, so I snatched it up, and thank you again to my wonderful Discord community for bringing it to my attention so that I could buy this. I am excited. There's actually some interesting things in here. I was gonna go over some maybe design stuff today, but it turns out the design for this client that I have is gonna be pretty simple and actually just a redo of the Gretel jump skirt with a longer waistline. So it's gonna be, you know, longer instead of the Ampere waistline. Hello, Minty. Hello. Oh, I'm always so happy to see you. You and Melon are my besties on this channel. I love that. So, and I got this from, I don't actually know how to say her name. Hello, Charmadine. What is your favorite pattern in Gosurori number 12? Well, honestly, I haven't really looked at it very closely, so I was going to do that on stream. Hello. Oh my goodness. Oh, Mindy, you cheered me. I'm still trying to decipher all the little noises that come from over there. So, thank you. Yay! Yeah, so I haven't looked at them yet. I was going to open them up on stream and we can look at them together. And maybe, I don't know, pick something at random. You know, honestly, the thing that I would do when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to make next, did you see my stack of fabric that I have? It's ridiculous. And I'm like, I should probably make something out of that. And when I'm trying to figure out ideas, I have so many of these pattern books now in my collection that I just start flipping through them and I'll just try to like be open to picking one at random, like kind of going, yeah, that one, okay, fine. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll make it work. Sometimes these older editions of, it's the same publishing company, and then they revamped their format to do otome no sewing. So the Gosurori pattern books came before. This one is from 2008, and this one is volume 3. This came from 2004, so we're talking pretty old school, even with the 2008 volume. And a lot of the patterns are kind of janky, and so I just look at them as like inspiration, and I figure I could use those basic shapes and use my knowledge of pattern modification and drafting so that I could make it look the way that I want it to. In fact, one of the things that I notice in a lot of these dresses that they have is that the volume of the skirt is lacking and the length is too. That might have just been part of the old school aesthetic, but I prefer, you know, longer skirts, more fullness, just like this. This is like my kind of comfy style. It's kind of to my natural waist as well. So the Gretel jump skirt that I'll probably be doing for a client is going to be lengthened so that it looks more like this natural waistline as opposed to the Empire waistline. It kind of ended up right here. So it's, you know, just a few inches different. Not a big deal. Oh my goodness. I have no idea what cheering does, but yay! Does it cost money? I've never actually done it, so... Yeah, maybe you could do a poll so we could choose. Yeah, that's a good idea. I love the strange patterns the old ones have. They are pretty weird. You want to take a look? Let's take a look. All right, let's start with the older one, huh? So I just got this in the mail today. It was sent to me by our dear friend on the Discord, my Discord server, KDYU with the 100. She's super awesome that she sent this to me. She just happened to have an extra copy and decided to send this one to me because maybe I can do something with it, which is pretty much my entire thing. I don't know if Lolitas back in the day just like bought these on a whim and didn't know what they were getting, and then when they were looking at things like all these diagrams and stuff, they're like, oh no. So if I can get them off their hands and rehome them to a good home that does pattern drafting, that is all the better for me. Anyway, let's take a look. Let's take a look at what they have. Let's go slowly. I'm gonna take a chair here. Ugh. Let's see if we can get this a little bit closer so that you guys can really enjoy. Okay, we're like centered right here, so I'm gonna move my sewing machine down. Sweet people we have at Discord. I know, right? It does cost to get the bits to cheer, but I don't know what it does for you. I think maybe it gives me a little bit of something. That's a good question. Like a few cents extra every day. Right now, I'm at about $9 earning. I'll just share that with you. I earn about $9 from people subscribing to me. Because I get half of whatever you subscribe, I get half of that. And so, you know, winter is coming. Well, winter is here. And any help you can give me is perfectly fine. If you want to just do a one-time donation to my channel, you can certainly do that, and that's going to help me out a lot, because I will be honest with you, this is my job. I teach sewing once a week, and it pays okay, you know, enough to buy groceries, but for the most part, my earnings are from commissions. So whatever you can do to help me out. If you want to order something from me, or just give me like 10 bucks here and there just for one time, that'd be super awesome. But in the meantime, I'm just doing this because I like it. And there we go. Let's see. I don't know what it is. Okay. Alrighty. I have a physical copy in hand of 12 at the moment. I'm not finding that I'm particularly fond of most of them, so I'm curious on your opinion. Alright, well, you know what? Yeah, I like those dresses too. We'll come back to that since Charmidine has number 12 in her hand. We can look through it together. Let's go on a journey. Let's go on an adventure of back in time to 2008. November 2008. Here we go. I like this model, by the way. I really like her face. And she's got that cute little beauty mark on her face. I always like the pictures that she's in. She actually is modeling one of my favorite dresses from another Gosurori. Anyway, oh, and here she is again. I like her a lot. So, okay. I like this blouse. I am not crazy about whatever the heck this is right here. This skirt that has like this weird A-line thing. I mean, and the cincher is okay, but the blouse is nice. I like that. That's pretty sharp right there. I would like to take a look at what the flat looks like for this one. I wonder if it's like a separate piece that this corset is, this underbust corset, or if it's part of this whole top thing. The skirt, I could take it or leave it. I'm not crazy about that. But, okay, good on them for being creative. Let's see, let me get I'm gonna bring my chat screen a little bit closer. Look at all this stuff I've got on my table. I always have stuff on my table. What's wrong with me? It's like I'm a hoarder of crafty things. Let's see. Let's see. I like those dresses. Oh, in the previous one, yeah, it was. I look at old Gosurori and just think, what's going on? Yeah, you know, so this was more of a mishmash of different aesthetics. It wasn't just, what's it called? Oh, and you know what? While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to put my face on here so you can also see me, so I can talk to you while I'm doing this. I'm going to add a little, let's see, it's going to be, what is it, video capture device, and I already have it because it's already here. I'm going to add this source. Oh, and make it tiny. I'm going to make it small, right there. Okay, we're going to do that. There we go. So that way, I can talk to you while I'm doing this. And you're not just hearing my disembodied voice. So we'll bring this down a little bit so you can see. Okay, so exciting. Back to this. Yes, so it's a mishmash of different aesthetics. It was a lot of gothic. It was a lot of some Lolita. Also, you see a lot more of the Kodona or Oji style in these books. And punk. So it's like kind of just all thrown in together. When they redid the format of the Tomino sewing books, they focused more on the otome part, the maiden part of the Lolita, Gothic Lolita part of this. So that's why you see more Lolita-centric stuff in Otome no Sewing, as opposed to Gosurori, which means Goth Loli, or Gothic Lolita. So you have like this weird mix. So here's like this old school kind of Kodona with the big platforms and stuff like that. I have no idea. I have no idea what the heck this is. What in the world? This is like early 2000s, maybe goth raver? I don't. I mean, and looking at this too, I'm looking at the design down here. And this is supposed to be a lot longer, I think, because it's supposed to barely be a midriff, according to the illustration design. But seriously, I don't understand their choice of lace or chiffon or whatever it is that they did here. And I don't know why this is shiny. That looks awful. It looks like it's probably some spandex shiny stuff. big platforms. I know, right? At least this one's wearing like Doc Martens or something. Although they don't have that signature yellow platform. Ah, okay, so here we go. That is pink. This is very pink. I don't know. I'm gonna turn down this music real quick. Hold my place. I'm gonna hold my place with this. Oh my gosh. Let's turn that down so I can actually talk to you. And you can hear me. You can hear me, right? I hope. Right? Okay, so what the heck is happening here? The fabric choices are just wow. I mean, I like a good sateen because we talked about sateen. Sateen is basically a cotton that's woven in a satin weave, and it has a very mild luster to it. It's super mild. So the whole satin, like poly satin sort of shiny look is just a big no-no usually when it comes to Lolita fashion. Also, what the hell? Like, her knees are showing. This dress is not long enough. It's a flattering figure, flattering silhouette, but I'm not sure about the white with the shiny pink satin and like bows. It's like maybe a couple steps down from being a ruffle monster, but holy crap. You know what? I am curious to see what the flat looks like. I really feel like this needs to be bigger, more voluminous, longer, and let's just not use satin. Let's just be a little bit more cohesive about the lace accents that we use here. Not digging this, but like I said a few times before, I look at these and I take them as inspiration. I might use the basic block of the pattern and modify it to do something a little bit more elevated, if that makes any sense. So I just see pink. Oh, is it too bright, or is it that you can't see? Can you not see the details of the dress here? Because I need to fix that if you can't see it properly. I mean, it's okay. See if we can get rid of some of these filters. The color correction's fine. Sharpen, actually, you need the sharpen. Otherwise you can't really see too many detail. I guess that's as good as it's gonna get for now. One day I'll have all the money so I can have a better camera on my top-down view here, but yeah, you can see things here. Yeah, it's very subtle. I don't know how well can actually see here. There's all that white lace. Just a bunch of white lace all over this. Okay. Moving on to this. Oh, plaid. Plaid was the punk Lolita thing. It still kind of is, but I don't know how much of a how popular the punk Lolita look is these days. I see a lot of wah Lolita and sometimes key Lolita, mostly classic, still sometimes sweet, but the sweet is more toned down than it used to be. That's a lot going on, it is. This has like appliques going all around the skirt. They use a Clooney lace and a galloon lace around the hem of the skirt, and I can sort of see that this is overlaid. So the bottom of the hem is actually right here, and then they overlaid that with a row of lace, and then below it on the actual hem with another row of lace. Why? And it's all see-through. It's like, why? That's so busy. And all this eyelet lace that's going on right here. It's like, let's just use the cheapest materials possible to do this. And even the design actually doesn't seem to have an indication of plaid, unless like it says in Japanese that the red part is meant to be plaid, and they just couldn't draw the pattern of the textile. So it's kind of a hot mess. I would just use probably the basic shape of this design for the silhouette purposes and do my own variation of whatever the trims would be. The capelet's kind of cute by itself. So really what I'm doing is I'm looking at each piece kind of on its own and thinking about different fabrics than they use here. So I'm pretty open as far as everything that's in this book, even though it at first glance it looks like a hot mess. I'm still going to be able to like take it and maybe work with it as if it were clay that I'm molding into a new art. So I don't know. This one's actually not bad. I'm interested to see what the flat looks like for this blouse. It's a separate. I don't know. It looks a little too subtle for you guys to be able to tell. This purple's very dark. It's purple like this, like darker than this purple, and has black lace all over it, and just lines and lines of lace and ribbon trim. It's a tiered dress, tiered skirt probably, and so it's probably cut off here and has gathering, and then another tier of gathering. I think that's where it's broken up here. Just all kinds of stuff. It's kind of interesting. I like the length of this. I like the shape here that's straight, so it's not a cupcake shape. It's actually more of an A-line with two-tier ruffles at the bottom of the hem. I'm not crazy about that corset, and I'm kind of interested in seeing what the flat pattern, or what the technical flat is what we call it, looks like for this blouse. So there's that. And they do like a little, I guess they give you instructions to make the rose headdress that she's wearing. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, hey, Moob. Well, we're looking at pattern books right now. It's probably not as interesting as you might think, but not for you anyway, if you don't do this sort of thing. But, hi. Thanks for joining us. We're looking at, potential patterns to make. Yeah. Oh gosh. I remember this suite with the wigs and so much stuff on the hair and everywhere, like Deco. Yeah. Deco Lolita was like little decorations everywhere on your face, and on your hair. Big hair, big wigs. Natural hair, I think, is making a comeback these days. Just like they did here. They're not wearing wigs, they have just their hair styled. And the whole back combing thing that was around 2004, I want to say. Here we have another separate though. And I'm not clear on, here again with the shiny satin. I don't get that. I mean, at least they matched their seams for the ruffles. But okay, it's like a scalloped overskirt with this underskirt that's shiny satin. I'm trying to look at this design here. It is not supposed to look like that. This, according to this design, the illustration, the overskirt is supposed to come down and sort of float over these 3 tiers of ruffles. This is far too high to be an accurate representation of what this illustrator was trying to convey. So I'm not sure that these gloves that they do, I don't understand. This is just very, very poorly drafted. It's just, they took quite some liberties. Yeah, they did. Oh God. Yeah, I would probably take this pattern. The underskirt is fine. Don't make it out of shiny satin. Whatever you do, I don't understand the appeal of that. It's not pretty. It doesn't look good. I think it's the same fabric they used here for the corset or whatever that is, bodice. I would take the underskirt. That one's fine. And then I would probably lengthen the hell out of this overskirt and make sure that it should nearly be touching this bottom hem. It should be, I'm gonna say by this estimate, like 6 inches longer, at least, maybe even more, maybe 8 inches longer. Okay, moving on. Here we have aristocrat style. So the aristocrat style was also a thing. Not sure if it still is. But you know, in the early days, everybody was branching out into all these different Lolita aesthetics and subcultures. So we have the aristocratic style. This is more of, I mean, this is very Victorian, late Victorian. It looks like she's got a bustle sort of in the back. It's separates again. Oh man, these are... I don't really know what to say about this. The only thing I like about this is that this coat, or the top, or whatever it is that you want to call it, has really nice pin tucks. Why this illustrator decided to make it out of red, I guess to accent in this fabric, it's really interesting. They found a pretty good fabric to use when it's illustrated here. It's very small. I know, it's very small. I don't know how well you can see that. But what the heck? The only thing I like about this is the yoke and the pin tucks. Maybe the entire top if it were made out of something different. And this, is this like Queen of Hearts on LSD or what? I don't know. It's like some sort of, it's not Alice. It's like an Alice in Wonderland character with this red trim on it. And the trim has Clooney lace or something that looks pretty basic and cottony. I would be interested to see what the corset looks like as far as the flat. And it looks like she's wearing a separate blouse that's sleeveless. I hate sleeveless. I don't have the arms for it. I just don't. Was everyone drunk while doing that? That's a good question. That's a good question. I would be interested to know. And then here, this is not actually, this outfit is not actually a pattern. I do believe maybe one of these things. Maybe it's the skirt, or is it the hoodie? Let me see. It says something on page 13. So page 13, oh, okay, here it is. It is the skirt. Okay, so here, Putumayo is giving you a pattern. So this is an official brand pattern. It's like a cute little skirt. Actually, by itself, it's fine. And then they have the pattern here for you to make this skirt. Oh my goodness, now it's saying that I'm streaming on Discord? I thought I was already streaming and I thought I'd already sent something, but alright. Finally, something normal! I know. It's cute! I don't like gingham. I try to avoid gingham. I would probably do something else. I would probably be a little more creative with my accents and the way that I decorate it. I've done this sort of chain before. I've made a skirt out of super cheap dollar fabric. I just decided to make a random skirt, and I decided to use some of the resin charms that I had made when I was just starting to get into resin making things. And I made like a little chain like this with some charms hanging from it. It was cute. This is okay. It's a tiered skirt, so it actually takes a lot more fabric than you think it does. Tiered skirts are just always like that. Anyway, pretty basic design. And you have like the scalloping of the over layer, if you want to call it that. Okay. And then of course all the instructions. These are advertisements. So we have H. Naoto. That is so cute. I have to be really careful about the kind of Ampere outfits that I get because I am well endowed. I'm very busty, and so a lot of the time when I get like a really cute Ampere style dress, it like sits right at my nipple line, and it's just not attractive. So if I were to wear something like that, I would probably have to be sure to make it myself, because then I could be sure where that Empire line is going to sit. It's supposed to be just under the bust. And so, and then, you know, if you do it that way, it's going to be very flattering. Usually, fashion houses don't accommodate, especially in Japan, they don't accommodate for big boobs. And so it just ends up sitting like a panel right on top of my boobs, right in the apex area. It's just not flattering at all. Now this is interesting. This is looking like a kind of that shabby chic style that was popular for a little while back in 2008. I remember this style. So you have, it's kind of like drop waist, very lacy, pastel, soft colors, and soft laces. This is an advertisement though. This is not a pattern that is available in the book. Oh, that's really cute, but that is also just, oh, that's an H. Naoto frill. I have one of those. I have a skirt from H. Naoto frill from their collection back in 2012, I want to say. Here's some more advertisements for Black Peace Now, which I don't think exist anymore. I don't think they're around, but they have some cute things even for 2008. Oh my gosh, it's Minty. Oh no, Minty's already here. What am I talking about? It's Melon. Hello, Melon. And hello, Creme Brulee. I like your name. Creme Brulee. I like the more masculine looks for Lolita, and it's so hard to find things that fit with these kind of knockers. I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Just get in the way and poke people's eye out. Anyway. Moving on. Oh my god. I too have issues with knickers. We're talking about knockers. You know, knockers. You know, your girls, your twins. Yeah, there we go. I was like, knickers are a different thing. Oh my gosh. Is Black Peace Now still around? I don't remember. I think there are a few that have since gone the way of the dinosaur, so I don't remember all of who it was. Moobs. Oh, Moob. That's my friend. I played Destiny 2 with that guy, by the way, so yeah. I just have a bunch of belly. Aww. Well, that should also be accommodated, though. You should be able to wear this sort of style without sacrificing your comfort, so, or your, you know, overall complete aesthetic, so. I see some on Wondervelt sometimes. Oh, of what? You see some of what? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble, like, keeping up with everybody's conversation. Like Empire dresses? Wondervelt. Wondervelt! This is cute. Miho Matsuda. Or Miho Matsuda. I always forget which part to put an inflection on. Oh, Angelic Pretty! Look at the old school atrocity that we have here. Woo! That is pink. It's like all Angelic Pretty knows is how to be pink. Oh, and that gingham. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know if I could get away with wearing that much pink. I like pink, don't get me wrong, but there has to be some variance in your whole wardrobe, you know? Less prints, more design. Yeah, Black Peace Now. Oh, yes. Less prints, more design. That is my thing, too. I like the idea of having a custom, like, exclusive print, but I'm not all about it. I did mention that I'm talking with my illustrator friend, actually, and we're going to be doing some really cute designs in the style of fairy kingdom stuff, so moon fairies, things that you would find in a Brian Froud book, that sort of thing. Moon Fairy Queen, or Sealy Court, or, you know, the Sealy Court Ball, Unsealy Court, so you would have both balances of the fairy kingdom. I don't know how familiar you are with the lore of fairy and fairy mythology and that sort of thing, but that was my idea, to play around with, let's do some custom prints with moons and fairies and Unseelie and Seelie court stuff and, you know, Irish and fairy mythology. That would be really fun for me. But next to that, I also like the idea of just sourcing really fun, basic fabrics with colors that I like and just doing more of the design of the dress itself as opposed to focusing on just the print. Anyway, I love Sweet Lolita, but I feel like with my skin, classic suits me better. Agreed. Yeah, I mostly I like dark colors. I'm wearing like bright red and pink right now, which is not usually my thing, but I have a black blouse. Sometimes in the summer I'll wear a white blouse with this. But usually my aesthetic are blues and greens. I like teal. I don't wear as much pink anymore. I love cream colors with flowers on them. Basically any floral prints. If it's on a cream background or a black background or even a navy black background, that's sort of my thing right now too. Black and pastel is my primary style, but it is so hard to see done well in terms of not prints. Yeah, I agree. Black and pastel, that's pretty cool. So what would the pastel color be? Just any pastel? You like minty green or lilac or baby pink is an option, baby blue, that sort of thing. So what would be your preferred combination of black and a pastel? I'm curious. Metamorphose Tante Fille. Tante Fille. Boo, 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 boo. This is really cute. I love this. I love that sort of thing. This is really cute too. I'd wear that just every day. This is my style right here. This is all me right there. Oh my god, look at that. Yeah. Oh, cute little cardigans. These are all advertisements. These are not, you know, these are not patterns. And then Putumeo. I'm sorry, every time I look at their name, I speak Spanish, so I don't know if you speak Spanish or you know what I might be thinking of when I see this word. But that's what I think of, the first thing I think of when I see that word. That is not a good thing. Oh, we've got some little tutorials here for some basic jewelry making. Yeah. Good, I'm not alone. Okay. It's like, I can't unsee it. I can't unhear it. I have to be very careful in the way I speak it because I would just want to say puta. I'm like, no. That's terrible. Oh my god. Oh, here they have a little tutorial for making ribbon roses. Okay, this is the scrunchie method. I've seen the scrunchie method. I like the foldy method better. And here we have Clover doing their usual thing of buy our useless thing that only does one job. I have some of these templates because I was just curious about them, but Clover advertises in this book, probably giving advertisement money so that it can be published, for one. But every time I look at what Clover actually offers, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I could probably just find a way to do this without a template. Just, I don't see the point. But here you go. This is a little how to use our template kind of thing. And it's basically just a scrunchie sort of, and I could show you this. Actually, I've done this before, the scrunchie rose thing. Oh, is this in the book? That's kind of interesting. I'm not a fan of this lace, white lace on this. I guess it's kind of like a wine color. It's a deeper red than just red. But I think it's a coat. Is it a coat? Huh. Looks kind of like a coat. It's on page 64. And then the head bows they have on page 64 as well. Here we have a little cape thing. Like a half coat or a cape with a capelet. Kind of cute. There is also a similar pattern in one of the more recent Otome no Sewing books, which I have actually made. I made it out of fleece just because I'm stupid and I didn't really have the proper material, you would want to make this out of like a coating material, so wool, or even like an acrylic that's like a wool sort of weight. But don't use fleece. It just doesn't work out. And then we have some more Kodona style, or Oji. This is more Oji style. That's kind of cool. And also this coat is interesting. All the belts around it, that's pretty neat. And see, we have here, what is this? Die cutting? They're little punch. So you can make your own cards, so they're advertising here how to use. What is this? Carla Craft. Florence Moret. So they're just advertising some little die cutting punches right here for Gothic style. Welcome to Wonderland. Some shoes, really old school shoes, and a fashion show for H. Naoto here. That is crazy. Wow, that's nuts. Okay, some tutorials for some headdresses, and also for your hair. If you wanted to style your hair in this manner, they go over the steps, of course, in Japanese. And one more. Why would that be? That's like an unfinished edge. That is so weird. Whatever. I don't understand the aesthetic here. Maybe it's the shabby chic thing that I talked about earlier. Here we have some fabric stores that they're advertising, and probably something else that I can't quite make out right now unless I translated it. Some advertisements for some name tags for some clothing labels. Which, by the way, I have a really good source for clothing labels if you guys are interested and you want to make your own clothes and put your labels in it. There are a couple different really good companies that I like to use. The most recent one I think is Wonder Label. I think it's Wonder with a U. They have probably the best quality that I've ever seen. So anyway, they're advertising a company that does that sort of thing. And I guess they're just giving you information about the products that they advertise here. And then the rest of the submitted designs that did not get translated into a pattern. So sometimes I like to look at these just to see if I can find a little snippet, a little nugget of inspiration that maybe was not utilized. But you know, they're kind of all over the place. I am curious to see. Okay, so this is that corset with, that's that dark purple thing. They do go over how to do a petticoat. And that's that dark purple tiered thing. So it is double tiered with an A-line sort of top tier here. And here's that long coat that we saw earlier. 64 was where we saw the coat. Was it the coat pattern? Oh no, those are the coats. And wow, just look at the difference. I don't know if you can tell the difference of the line that they use. So for their instructions, it kind of looks messy compared to Otome no Sewing, which looks a lot better drawn in CAD or in Illustrator. So I mean, it looks like almost they use Comic Sans for the numbers. But at least there is one thing that Gosudori has going for it that Otome no Sewing does not have, and it has an extra size. So in Gosudori, they have small, medium, large, and double L. So it goes a fourth size above L, which Otome no Sewing only has the 3. So that is one upside to it. The downside, though, is that a lot of these patterns are just so strangely patterned that you would have to modify them or change them anyway. I don't even know if this is lined. You would probably have to figure out the lining yourself, and good luck if you've never actually done that sort of thing, lining a coat like this. I feel like this is a coat. It looks like it would be a coat. looks like many of the coats that I've seen in Lolita fashion. I got very overwhelmed looking at the writing. It is a lot. It's all over the place. Yeah, I think it is a coat with like a bustle. It does appear to be lined. And yeah, okay, so it does have a facing here, and it's lined on the inside. You would probably get a coat weight sort of fabric to make it. Okay, it's cute. I would omit a lot of this extra lace trim that they use. I don't know why they would do that. Here's that buckle coat. And yeah, here's that cape with the slits. This is not lined, question mark. I don't think it is. No, it appears to be not lined, just faced on the front. I would line this. I would definitely line that to make it prettier on the inside. And the capelets. Okay, I think we're good. And there's that. Oh, that's that really cool Cadona coat or OG coat that we saw. So stuff like this, you might see on separate pieces. When it's shaded like this and doesn't have any numbers like this, usually that means that there is a previous pattern in the book that you would have to draft first, then use that as your base and figure out the differences of the lines used in the shading. I understand why they do that. They're saving time. They're saying use this base pattern and then just shape it this way. And so you have to have the base measurements put down first. In any case, oh my god, look at that mess. Holy crap, look at that mess. There is that really complicated pink dress that we saw earlier in the book that has all the white lace on it. And yeah, you said it was complicated. It looks a little complicated. I mean, it looks a little complicated, but maybe it's just if you break it down in chunks, it makes more sense. It's a lot of tiers, a lot of ruffles. There do seem to be a lot of pieces. The facings and everything that goes into this. I would make this dress a lot longer. I would make it a lot wider. So, boy, oh boy. The largest size of the different tiers between the panels of the skirt are just 10.8 centimeters. Oh, I'd make that at least 12. Like, really volumize that bottom hem, you know? Yes, mine has 4 sizes, which is great. It is great. Although I did want to go over that. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it today, but I really wanted to try an experiment, if you would have me to do this for you. I wanted to take the Otome no Sewing book, one of them, just any one. I might end up, you know what I might end up doing, is I might redraft the Gretel jump skirt, because I'm going to have to do that for a potential client in the future, probably in the near future as well. And I need to grade that pattern up a lot, and I wanted to see if I could puzzle out a grading technique just by using the first 3 given sizes. So if I work out the difference between all the sizes and then go up from there, because it should be growing in the same rate. There is a difference, a larger difference between the medium and the large, and that it is between the small and the medium, but I still want to try it. I kind of want to try this. Would that be interesting to anybody? I'm very interested in trying it myself. In the meantime, you guys, it is time to get started on finishing this dress. I'm gonna put this on my shelf. I'm gonna put it away. I have number 3 now. I get to add number 3 and number 12 to my archive, and eventually I'll get to scanning it. It's so hard to keep up with everything. I don't know how I do it. Alright, did I leave a needle? Yes, I did. Oh, I wanted to do the same experiment, so I'd be interested. Fantastic. If you stick around. This is almost done, I promise. I just need to, I'm going to do a slip stitch right now just to close this up. I left one side of this belt open so that I could turn it out. So I have exactly this much. This is how much I used right here. This is how much I used to turn out the entire belt. And then I pressed it. So I'm going to just close it together. I'll close this up with a simple slip stitch. You guys know how to do a slip stitch? You guys want to learn how to do a slip stitch? Let's see. We'll get closer. You know how to do a slip stitch. Awesome. All right. Oh, we're centered this way. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do my nice, neat French knot end. There we go. Snip this off. Okay, so slip stitch. Let's see if we can do this. I'm gonna start back here. Kind of hide that guy so that knot is gonna be hidden. And then I'm just gonna go back and forth on the inside. Might need a slimmer needle for this. Oh, really? You're gonna do that to me, thread? Basically to make this stitch invisible, which is exactly what we want. Just want it to be closed. So you guys, I have this new obsession in my YouTube video watching habits. I know we talked about the weird things that I do and that I watch, and that I am not alone in watching these weird things. But lately, I've been obsessively watching the r/ channel. So I'm watching like videos talking about stories from Reddit about entitled parents and the crazy crap they do to other people for various reasons. It's like kind of insane, the kind of crazy that people like encounter in the wild. You ever read those sorts of things? It's terrible. It's like a really guilty pleasure. I don't understand it. I think it goes back to the whole Schadenfreude, because I was watching like public freakout videos. I think I've burned out on that. It's not as interesting anymore. But these stories from people telling their side of encountering an entitled person that's completely in the wrong, and like, how do you deal with that sort of thing? So I'm going across the ridge here, this predetermined fold. I'm just going back and forth, catching in between, and then It's a very subtle stitch. Very subtle. You guys! You guys! Where'd you go? Don't leave me! It's okay. Everybody's busy. I know you guys have things to do. I appreciate you hanging out though, that's pretty neat. I am always very touched and excited when people are here hanging out with me while I do this. While I do these. I'm stitching too! Oh, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I'm glad that you're also stitching. That's cool. That is fun. I sang this morning. I played around on Twitch streams. I mean, Twitch streams. Twitch sings. Yeah, because I have that. And, I tried a song. I was not warmed up. I am not ready for singing in the morning, but I decided to do it anyway because I haven't done it in a long time. And I liked singing. I was good at it at one point in my life. I was trained in opera and musical theater in college. Did that for 2 years. And I tried sort of maybe thinking about doing a job as a singer, but I don't think I'm about that life. Most people have talent to actually write their own songs, and I just can't do that. I just sing covers, and I'm okay at it. See, because I'm trained in musical theater, so that means the words and the music are already written for me, and it's really just up to you to perform it. Okay, really? You're gonna do this to me now? So that's where my experience goes. So I'm okay. In fact, if you're curious, I'll go ahead and let you in on a little secret. I have another YouTube channel, and it's just my name. So the definite like streaming for sewing and all that stuff, that is Belle on YouTube. But if you want to find my old videos where I'm dressed in Lolita and singing covers, you can find me there as Carol Belle, and then you'll see me. You should do some singing streams. Well, I kind of did this morning. I mean, the tough thing is that I used to do that, and a lot of the songs that I covered would get flagged and muted because the songs that I choose to do tend to be like copyright protected or something like that. But you can find a few of them on YouTube that are still there. So I'm gonna finish this up with a little knot. Hey, Jack! So, let's see, hang on, let me catch up. I'm concentrating on snippings. I think I got it. Okay, so this is just my thinking, but could you take the 2 pieces of fabric and serger them together, so overlock them together, right sides out, then sew the project? Provides another layer, and per example, if you add fleece like Carol once said, you get a warm layer. Yeah, this is true. Anyway, also opera. Yes, I did opera. Okay, let me just go back to Jack here. Could you take the 2 pieces of fabric, right sides out, then sew the project? Do you mean? Well, right sides together is traditional. Right sides out, I'm not so sure. That sounds like, I don't know. Right sides out, then sew the project? Are you talking about like making a French seam? I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand. Also, I need to finish this dress. Oh. Choo choo. Choo choo choo. I need to. I have to raise that. It's not right. And actually, what I might have to do as well is make it out of this purple. Okay, so one of my projects in the past that my girlfriend did was to serge 2 pieces of satin together, then sew bloomers. So if you're talking about sewing with a serger or an overlock machine, you can, but I don't recommend it just because serging is for one purpose, and that is to clean up your edges and make them nice and neat. That's really the entire purpose of a serger. It's also used for making like the purled edging and things like that. So using the serger to sew with is a little bit difficult. It's harder to manipulate the fabric. Plus you have the potential of cutting a hole in your fabric if you have anything bunching up underneath, because it does have a knife engaged. You can disengage the knife. But there's just a lot of factors that go into doing it with a serger as opposed to doing it first by sewing it, and then if you have to undo anything for whatever reason, it's a lot less to deal with as far as all the thread that you would have to razor out or undo, or use your seam ripper for. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little bit higher. My question is double-sided something considered a lining? No. A lining is a separate layer from the shell of the piece that usually is for aesthetic purposes, but also it just keeps the raw edges of the shell inside from being rubbed on or like being against the skin or anything like that. It's for comfort, but it is a separate piece. You don't put together 2 pieces and then with like sewing all around that one piece and then put together the entire garment with having a layered piece like that. That is not a lining. That is just layered. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to help you. Help me help you. Let's go back to this. It's hard when you don't have the vocabulary, I know. I understand. Just do your best, and I will try to answer as best as I can. So I am going to go in here. Smallest bit. This guy right here. So it's about 1 centimeter. No, that's too big. Thank you for clarifying, and thank you chat for clarifying. Oh, I'm glad everybody jumped in and helped out there. That's very nice. Okay, so I'm doing a swing tack for the belt loop here. Just a simple little swing tack. You guys know how to crochet, right? That's basically what that is. How to what? Crochet! I thought lining was just so you would have something nice against your skin. Yes and no. It just depends on the way that it's constructed. I can show you in a minute what lining is considered to be as. Let me see if this is going to be. Yeah, that's good. Okay, this is going to be good. There we go. going to show you the lining of this dress so you can see what a proper lining is supposed to look like. People have different ideas of what lining is, and not all of them are right, so you basically want to hide the mess that is putting together your garment. And it's also aesthetically pleasing. It elevates the quality of the garment. So here we go. Let's see if we can show you here what I'm talking about. This is satin lining. And so you have a finishing that basically looks like the right side of any garment that's just on the inside. And this makes it a lot nicer against your skin. So you have everything here closed. You don't have any raw edges that are going to touch the skin. It's all just as nicely finished as it is on the inside. Here you have the facing that is attached to the lining. So the lining and the facing are two separate pieces. And they're not the same piece as the shell of the bodice. So this lining, this pink, is like a deeper cut neckline to accommodate the facing that goes on the top. And basically that's just drafted out of the pattern for the bodice and then adjusted with some seam allowance. So there's that. Yeah, we got that just nicely. Very nice. And then of course here we have the full skirt lining, and on certain points, especially in the center back seam and the two side seams, I added swing tacks so that this is kept down. It's not going to ride up on you when you're wearing it. So a swing tack, you see this a lot in formal wear. So in dresses that have a lining, you'll have a little piece of thread that attaches to the shell of the fabric. And a lot of people are like, what's that there for? And they'll cut it off. It's like, no, there's a reason that that's there. It's to keep the lining down when you're wearing this thing. So yeah, here's another one. Made it a little longer, but that's fine. Swing tacks are pretty variable, so it's kind of why they're called swing tacks, because they swing, you know, they have room, they have a little leeway. Ah, got ya. That does look very nice inside. Yes, it took me a little while to figure out the proper way of putting in a lining like this. So I'm very, very happy with the way this came out. Okay, so I have one swing tack belt loop on this side. Let me just make sure that's gonna fit. Do you give more ease to the lining? The lining is technically going to be closer to the body, and on the inside of the garment it needs to be a tad bit smaller. So sometimes like really nice patterns will have a lining that is drafted a tad smaller than the shell. Okay. So, turn this around, do the same thing on this side. I'm starting this little belt loop thing about a centimeter down, and I don't think I have enough here. I need a really long piece to crochet with my thread. I'm almost done, I'm almost done, I'm almost done, I'm almost done. I'm so close, so close. Is the lining ever sewn directly to the skirt hem? I think I've seen... You know what? Good question. I'll be right back. I'm gonna check. Okay. So, I wore this dress the other day. And let me get this camera on the top here so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we have this dress. This is the dress, actually, that I turned inside out so I could learn how to put in a lining. I did that all by myself. So here... Okay, so on theirs, their lining, the right side of their lining is facing outward. I have mine kind of sandwiched this way, so the nice side of the lining is actually against your skin. And then, of course, there's this beautiful interior that I was just mesmerized by the first time, and I'm just like, I have to learn how to do this. So I turned this thing completely inside out to figure out how to put in the lining. Now, that said, is the lining attached at the waist? It is not. There's a cavity here. It is attached, let's see, going into, oh well, that's because it's pinned. So no, this is not attached. And so I thought maybe briefly that is the case. Hang on, let me get the other layer. Layers. It is attached here because there is this, this section of shirring. But other than that, it is not attached to the waistband. Or it's not attached at the waist. And so that is my understanding of it. I love this dress. It is interesting though. Wait, is it? Or is it just one piece? Ah. No, I was right. No, I'm right. Okay. Am I right? Yeah. So here we have the swing tack again. The wrong side of the fabric is actually this shiny side. And it is sandwiched in between the wrong side of the shell, with the finishing going up into the wrong side. So yeah, it is actually correct. This is correct, this is correct. Ha ha ha! So the answer is no. It is not, to my knowledge, directly sewn into the skirt hem unless you have just a skirt. But if it has a bodice, it's the bodice and the lining is as if it were a completely different piece. Okay, thanks for showing. Pretty dress. Is there an advantage to not sewing both together at the bottom of the skirt, then hemming both together? Well, there is always a margin of error. And so if it's not perfectly sewn, you have the potential of bunching. So it's really just easier to deal with when you have separates between the lining and the shell of the dress. I can just see a lot of potential problems when you're doing that. Unless you're doing like a layered design, but then also lining it, it doesn't make sense to sew the lining and the skirt hem together. I know a lot of people like to think of these shortcuts, but they're not shortcuts. They're gonna make your life a lot harder if you're trying to do this any other way. These techniques have been, worked out over centuries. And I'm sure people have tried all kinds of things, and I've seen all kinds of things. I have also tried all kinds of things. And then I had to realize, oh, that's why they do it that way. So make your life easier and just take the advice of anything that you see online. If it's a way that it's done in a certain way, you just just take that advice. Don't make it harder for yourself. Okay, just curious. No worries, yeah. But I felt that was important to say because, like, I've been there. I was, you know, just learning and thinking, well, why is it done this way? Why can't I just be, you know, fast about it? And it's, well, okay, you had to go through the growing pains and figure out for yourself why it's not done a certain way. Okay, here we go. Are you using a normal thread or a thicker one? I'm just using normal thread and it's doubled up, and then I'm crocheting that. Essentially, crocheting. That is what I'm doing. It's basically like a chain. I'm chain crocheting. So, Jack, I wanted to ask you something. If you have a moment. All right. I was thinking about showing you some potential patterns. And you could tell me yay or nay while I've got you here, you know? Let's get this on here. It's gonna be a little scrunched. That's okay. Here. So this dress form is a lot smaller than my client, but we're going to try this. We're going to see if this is long enough. Oops. I did that wrong. I'm tying a bow, and you get to see what this looks like. So, left, right over left, up, two, bottom, make a loop, over, under, perfect bow. That is pretty nice. What do you guys think? Ta-da! Yay! Would you consider converting to the Church of Shapelex Interfacing? Oh, that's funny. Oh my god, Minty, I love you. You're amazing. Thank you. Alright, so, by the way, I did just get this. And I remember I saw this in the beginning. Let me get this on camera here. So, all right. I think they were at the beginning. Yeah, okay, here. You got this. The buttons are just additional. They don't have to be there. But this is a pretty basic kind of dress OP. Looks like it has a Peter Pan collar. This is a rolled collar. This is a sailor's collar. And then, of course, you have pretty, you said Alice in Wonderland, right? Me too. So here's this as a potential with the apron. To make it easy, I would be fine with the current dress design you just made. Different fabric and add an Alice apron. I mean, yeah, sure, that makes it easy. Still need to draft it to your size, but you know, we didn't get to look at this one. This one has, I'm never really sure if I like when the bodice incorporates the shoulder straps on here. Bring this over. I'm always dubious. And look at this. Look at this. I don't like that either. The baby doll look. Ugh. This is older. This is older. This is 2004. Oh, look at the Cadona with those big chunky heels and shoes and platforms. And then we go, wow, what is this? Gothic style, aristocrat, that sort of thing. Some jewelry making. Tutorials, and oh, look at that Hime blouse. I kind of like this, but I might make it better. I'd make that better. I like this. I'd make it longer. I hate this. This looks terrible. Weird. Weird! Why is this so weird? They were so weird. They didn't understand their aesthetic yet. They were still figuring themselves out. They were finding themselves. I think these are available. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cute. This is kind of cute just for like an everyday thing. I hate squared necklines though, I have to tell you. I don't like squared off necklines. Oh, that's adorable. That's actually cute. I hate the lace that they used, but again, I would make that better. Oh, you like the long dress? You like that long dress? Yeah, I like that too. I don't like sleeveless. I have big fat arms because I come from Italian and Spanish stock, so we got like the big bingo arms coming in. It's terrible. Like the blouses that used to fit me don't fit me anymore, or they're really tight now. I'm like, god damn it, I hate getting older. It sucks. Anyway, I think that was, and then you go into, yeah, okay, you got this sort of aesthetic. This, like, the Shido aesthetic. Nails! Oh, here's some Angelic Pretty. Some Innocent World. I always loved Innocent World. They're my other favorite. Innocent World, Victorian Maiden, and Mary Magdalene were my three favorites. And I think only one of them is left standing. No. I know Mary Magdalene is gone. Victorian Maiden is still kind of around. Innocent World is definitely around still. I'm with you. I love Peter Pan collars. I do too. I think they're very lovely. And they're pretty easy to make. Oh, look, kimonos, or rather yukatas. Kimonos are made out of silk. Yukatas are made out of cotton. FYI. All right, that's pretty much it. Well, I guess that settles that, Jack, doesn't it? 3. All right. Right. Well, here we are. It's really, this is going to be a lot, I mean, this is supposed to fit the client, so happens if it's loose. I think it'll still fit them. And if it doesn't, I just left it. It should technically still fit. It looks like it's made for somebody a lot bigger, but this is actually, it's very flattering on them. This is a female dress form, and my client is not female, so I had to accommodate the shape of the bodice in order to fit their form. And when they're wearing it, it looks fantastic. I am excited. I love it. All right, well, oh my goodness. That means this dress is done. Look at that beautiful lining. I'm so excited. I'm sure they will love the dress too. They loved the first two that I made them. Same style, made out of cotton. So this is the first time I'm using satin to make this style of dress. Now, as far as wrapping this, usually I try to do something kind of like that. I'll probably have to write some care instructions just because it's silk. It's not silk. What am I talking about? It's not silk. It's polyester satin, but still, it is polyester and it is satin and it is a custom print. And so, that being said, it's probably going to need some TLC. And I worry a little bit about this. It might be able to get dry cleaned. What? It's beautiful. Thank you. Got something for you, homie. Oh, look at me with badge. What? What did you get? Are you serious? Oh my goodness. Aw, thank you. Thank you. You have Amazon Prime because you can do it for free that way. I gotcha. Thank you very much. Appreciate that so much. I hate you with a sub. Nice! Oh, that's so nice. Well, I should probably return the favor. Oh man, I gotta fix this. So, this water-soluble marker that I used, it is water-soluble. It is just, takes a minute to get out a little bit. So what I might have to do is spray it with some water. See if I can get this out. And we were using this to spray cats, so it's on the steady stream thing. All right, let me get that out. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to let this dry. This is going to have to be dried on low, very low or tumble, no heat. It's going to have to be either spot cleaned or dry cleaned. in any case, it's going to have to be very well taken care of, because satin and the way that it's finished. Is that the inside? That's what that is, okay. Everything else is okay. Just gonna let that hang dry. Well, I can't wrap this guy up because it needs to dry now. That is okay. Well, you know what I could do is I could go now and take my break, eat my sandwich or whatever leftover I have right now. Probably my tuna casserole. I made tuna casserole. I could do that, and then I was thinking very strongly about trying that experiment because I don't have anything left to do on this dress here. So I really want to do that pattern drafting experiment to see if maybe I could utilize those numbers to do some grading up from there without having to do too much cutting. That is the idea, just to make it easier for me. And then actually, if I do the work to do that, I might be able to give out or sell graded up versions of those patterns. We shall see. But in any case, I would really love to do that when I come back. I'm gonna go ahead and take my lunch break right now, actually. So if you want to, in about an hour or so, I will be back online and streaming, so you can hang out with me then, and I would really appreciate that and love you forever if you do that. So we'll see you in an hour. Thank you, by the way, Moob. Thanks so much for that, and we'll see everybody later. Okay, 1 hour.